y'all, I'm Elisa, the Scrappy Wife behind ScrappyWife.com, and today I have a morning journaling process video for you. So I've been using this Archer and Olive journal and another one that has already been filled up as a morning creative journaling practice. And today I'm going to do a half page. I believe the ones I've been showing you have been full pages. A lot of days I just use a half page, and I actually just got these new stamps from Illustrated Faith and have been wanting to try them, and morning journaling is the perfect place to kind of try out some new products. So I'm going to give these a try and give you a little peek into another way that I like to journal in the mornings. I will link everything that I end up using down below. Otherwise, let's go. These are actually a set of layering stamps. So it's two 6x8 stamps, and one set is the fill and one set is the outline. The instructions on the stamp set actually say to do the outline first, the lines first, but I'm going to do the fill first because that's just what was calling to me. And I'm going to use shades of pink. And all you have to do is stamp it down. I'm not really worried about a perfect image. It can be tricky to stamp in these journals, especially as they get bulkier. And you'll see I kind of run into some issues. The first one's right here. I tried to stamp down and it wasn't really a flat surface, so I didn't get a great image. That's okay. I'm going to stamp on top again and just put my hand behind it. It's a little bit smushed, but that's okay because I'm going to be putting an outline. And these are kind of just like abstract flowers anyway. They're supposed to be loose looking. They're supposed to be not perfect. So I love how they just fit together, and I'm loving the shades of pink. So fun to just play with, and I'm just grabbing all the different stamps. One thing that's really awesome about these Archer and Olive notebooks is that the paper is really nice. So these are distress oxides that I'm using, and they are not going to bleed through, which is always a worry on journals, especially with distress ink. So these don't bleed through. I'm able to just ink away, and it's going to be super cute. And what I'm really focusing on is just relaxing. This is, again, a morning routine. When I recorded this, it was about 6:45 in the morning, somewhere in there. And this is just relaxing me, letting me focus a little bit for the day. I'm creating a background here that will then get filled up with all kinds of journaling prompts. I usually focus on a couple of regular prompts, which would be gratitude and my focus for the day. And then the other ones kind of change up just depending on what I'm thinking about, depending on what's going on in life, things like that. I'm really loving the gray leaves that I opted for. I think they're so cool, and I think they really let the pink take over, which I'm loving. All right, so now I've pulled out the outline set of stamps, and all you have to do is use a darker color. I'm actually going to go for black because I wanted it to be nice and bold, and you stamp over the top of the flowers that you've already put down. It doesn't have to line up perfectly in this particular set, of course, and it really doesn't have to line up perfectly ever. Morning journaling is not about everything being perfect. It's about just getting things out onto paper. It's about getting my creativity flowing for the day. I love, love, love this practice. So you can see I'm just matching up the florals, the lined florals with the fill florals that I used beneath. And I kept both stamp sets out just so that I would be able to see pretty clearly which one was which and kind of match them up. So I decide that I'm actually just going to do the outlines on the florals and not on the leaves because I'm afraid it'll be too much black, and I'm not really sure that I'll be able to write over top of the black that's on the page. So I want to leave plenty of room to write on the page because, of course, that's a big part of the morning journaling routine also, is getting things down onto my page. All right, so my background is done. It's time to start filling in this spread with all of the things that are in my head. Oops, I forgot. There was one more thing I did before I started writing. This is just a skinny washi tape from my stash. I think this one might be from Paper House Productions, but I'm not totally sure. And I'm just going to use it to create a border around the page. When I do these kind of single page spreads, which is what I do most of the time, in all honesty, I do like to set them off in some way. So sometimes I draw a border around the page, sometimes I do washi tape around the page. There are times that I have the two sides relate to each other, even though it's different days. It just kind of depends on what's going on in life and how I'm feeling that particular day. But I really enjoy this black and white kind of floral washi that's around the edge, and I think it frames it really nicely and sets it up well to be journaled on. When I start writing, the first thing I usually do is add the date, usually the day of the week and then the date. I want to try something that I've done in my Bible journaling and I haven't done in my creative journaling. So I'm going to use an extra piece of washi. I'm trying to take some of the stick off with my hands. I put the washi down and then I'm going to letter over top of the washi. I think the washi that I chose ended up being a little thick for this particular technique because you can't totally see that it says Tuesday underneath the washi tape, but that's okay. It was worth a try, and it's definitely something I'll try again, perhaps with a skinnier piece of washi tape. But you can see what I'm doing is just using my Tombow pen to letter Tuesday over the top, and then I just pick up the washi and I have a place right there to add in the actual date. So I'm just dating it Tuesday, July 13th, 2021. It's always important to date your creative journaling because I am really looking forward to going back through these journals and kind of seeing what was happening, and I love that I'll have the dates here to kind of reference. And then of course I add some dashed lines. Those are my favorite ways to kind of divide out different sections. So because I don't just journal straight down the page, I like to kind of block off different sections. My little dashed line technique is something I use all the time. It's not really a technique, it's just dashed lines, but I like that it kind of sets it off without being too thick. The first thing I start every day with is gratitude. And so I write out the things I'm grateful for. In this case, grateful for our family that is visiting and so excited to see my kids and their cousins all playing together, and thankful for some family and friends that showed a lot of encouragement to me this past week. Adding in some more lines. Now I try to kind of envision where I'm going to want blocks. So you can see as I was writing my gratitude, I did kind of block it off before I added the lines, and in that way I knew I wanted to have a column over on the right, so I left that there, and then I'm going to go ahead and continue that dashed line before I fill it in right here. So something I've been processing a lot are some fears that I'm feeling, fears that are coming up in my head. And so I wanted to just name them, put them out into the world, bring them out into the light, and then kind of counteract those fears with some writing. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm writing out the fears that have been kind of sticking with me recently, and then also writing out why those fears don't make sense, why I can let go of those fears. All right, the next section I'm going to add is super functional. It's going to say focus, and really I'm just going to list out some of the things that are going on that day, schedule things, just a couple of things on the actual schedule, and then some to-do list items that I want to focus on as well. So filling those in, I'm kind of alternating, if you can tell, with pink writing and black writing, just sticking with that color scheme for the day. And then the last thing I'm going to write out is vision. So I like kind of imagining some of my goals, imagining what it will feel like to reach some of those goals. And so I'm just going to write out a vision right here of some of my business goals coming to fruition. It always feels good to write out what you want and kind of envision yourself reaching those heights and taking those risks. And that's going to be it for this morning journaling entry. I do come back with a stamp to kind of fill in some of the white space. I don't really like having any blank space on my pages, so I'll add just a few more stamps here and there to fill that in, but otherwise this is done. Again, I'll make sure to link everything down below. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider hitting that subscribe button as well as the bell notification button. A huge shout out to my YouTube members. Thank you so much for your support and for making this channel a possibility. If you are interested in becoming a Scrappy YouTube member and receiving some of the perks that they receive on a monthly basis, make sure to click the join button or click the link in the description box. I hope that you have a fabulous day, and as always, keep it creative.